My spoiled sister threw my handmade Christmas gift in the garbage, so her wealthy husband stood up and threw away their entire marriage. I spent 4 grueling months knitting my older sister, Misty, a blanket because I couldn't afford to buy anything she'd actually want. As Christmas got closer, I stayed up past midnight so many nights that my roommate genuinely thought I was losing my mind. She found me knitting at 2 in the morning once and sighed. "You know she's not going to appreciate this, right?" I told her I knew, but my hands kept moving anyway, because some pathetic, desperate part of me still wanted my sister to love me. Christmas morning at my parents' house started exactly how it always did. Misty ripped open a diamond bracelet from our mother and shrieked so loud it physically hurt my ears. Our father handed her an envelope containing a luxury trip to Paris, and she jumped up and down like a game show contestant. Then, her wealthy husband, George, handed her a velvet box with diamond earrings that made her squeal. "You're the best husband in the entire world." I sat quietly in the corner, nervously holding my wrapped blanket, while Misty swam in expensive gifts. When she finally reached for my package, I felt my stomach violently turn itself inside out. She tore off the wrapping paper and pulled out the blanket I had poured 4 months of my life into. She held it up with 2 fingers, dangling it in the air like I had just handed her a bag of dripping garbage. "Wait, is this a joke?" she laughed, looking around like she expected everyone to laugh with her. Nobody did. She dropped the blanket onto the hardwood floor. "Seriously, did you pull this out of a dumpster on the way here? I knew you were broke, but I thought you'd at least have the dignity to get me a gift card instead of embarrassing yourself like this." My mother stared awkwardly at the floor, and my father started playing on his phone, completely ignoring the cruelty. Misty picked up the blanket with one hand and casually tossed it into the trash can in the corner of the room. "That's exactly where that belongs. Honestly, it's a perfect metaphor for your entire life." She laughed again while I sat there, tears stinging my eyes, feeling like I had just been punched in the chest. George slowly stood up from his chair. I mentally prepared for him to join in on the mockery. Instead, he walked straight over to the trash can and pulled out my blanket. He held it up to the light, and I watched him actually inspect the intricate stitches I had spent months perfecting. He turned to Misty, his face deadpan. "Do you have any idea how many hours this took to make?" Misty rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh God, George, don't start with the sentimental garbage." George's voice dropped an octave. "This took her hundreds of hours to knit. While you were busy blowing my money on designer handbags you used exactly once, and screaming at teenage waiters for bringing you the wrong salad dressing." Misty's face twisted in shock, and she shrieked at him to shut up. George smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You just threw your own sister's handmade gift in the trash and told her it was a metaphor for her life, and you want me to shut up?" Misty stammered that he was being overly dramatic over a stupid blanket. George laughed in a cold, harsh way that made everyone in the room flinch. "I have made excuses for you for 3 years, George said. "I have told myself that the tantrums, the cruelty, and the horrific way you treat people beneath you was just stress. But this is who you actually are, isn't it?" Misty's mouth fell open, and she looked desperately at our parents for backup. George pointed a finger right at them. "Don't even think about it. You two are just as guilty for sitting there like cowards while she tears your other daughter apart." My father started to stand up, but George snapped. "Sit down before you embarrass yourself." My father immediately sat back down. George looked back at his wife. "I have watched you be rude to servers and nasty to cashiers, and I told myself it wasn't that bad. But you just looked at your own sister and told her that her love belongs in the garbage." He stepped closer to her, his voice crystal clear. "I want a divorce." Misty started hysterically screaming that he was humiliating her in front of her family. George didn't blink. "Good! Now you know exactly how your sister feels, except she didn't deserve it, and you absolutely do." George walked over to me, folded the blanket carefully, and placed it gently back into my hands. "This is the most thoughtful gift anyone in this room has ever received, and I am so sorry it went to someone who didn't deserve it." Did George end up actually going through with the divorce after that morning?